Welcome, history fanatics, to Mrs. Heron's video playlist, where you will get the best of the best in social studies.
Welcome back, Comets. Today we're still in Unit 5, Southwest Asia and North Africa. Our essential question is, how did civilizations develop in Southwest Asia and North Africa? And today you should be able to locate the two major waterways in Southwest Asia.
The ruins that you are seeing are over 4,000 years old. They depict one of the world's first schools, located in the ancient land of Sumer. Here, children would become the first people in our known history to learn and develop a system of writing. They were hand-selected to be a scribe or a professional writer, and they would attend school until they were about 20 years old. Usually, only boys were selected, though some girls were able to attend school. After they graduated, they became the record keepers of Sumerian society. So your next question should be, where in the world is Sumer? Think of Sumer like Oklahoma City. It was a larger city in an even larger geographic area called Mesopotamia. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates River was an area called the Fertile Crescent. Mesopotamia was located in the Fertile Crescent, and the word Mesopotamia literally translated to the country between two rivers. Thus, it shouldn't be too hard to find it even on a map today. Mesopotamia's location made it the perfect place to grow crops. Can you guess why? That's right. It's located between two bodies of water, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This meant a lot of people wanted to live and trade in this area. Thus, its population and commerce grew fairly quickly. Even in modern times, the Tigris and Euphrates provide good soil, fish, and rich clay for Iraqi farmers and artisans. However, the rivers were not always so kind to the people of Mesopotamia. Some years, the snow that would melt in the spring would rush down the mountains and flood the cities below. These floods could be erratic and unpredictable, leaving only destruction behind. There were several major cities that developed along the Tigris and Euphrates. Three of the most prominent were Kish, Erech, and Ur. They would have been very far apart and couldn't communicate with one another easily. Thus, they each became like their own state. They would each worship gods, have unique laws, and have their own kings. When a city acts like its own state, it's called a city-state. The region of Sumer contained many of these early cities. Traffic in Sumerian cities was always bad. The roads were so narrow that carts could barely squeeze through. Unlike houses today, Sumerian houses faced away from the streets and overlooked a family courtyard. Sumerians used oil-powered lamps for light and invented the world's first version of public plumbing, using underground clay pipes to carry away waste. On the main streets, merchants, dancers, and even scribes gathered to socialize and trade goods. At the center of every Sumerian city was a ziggurat, the main temple dedicated to the city's god. They were connected through a series of terraces and ramps that led to the top temple. Ancient Sumerians believed that their gods used the ziggurat as a ladder to climb down to earth. There were many gods and goddesses that Sumerians worshipped. When people worship more than one god, it's called polytheism. Poly is Greek for multiple, and theism means God. Just like in the movie Moana, Sumerians believed that when people angered their gods, they could be punished. And when they pleased the gods, they would be rewarded. Stories that explain people's beliefs are called myths. Sumerians were careful to take care of their statues and temples to not anger their gods. Take a look at the daily offering given to the Sumerian god Anu. Sumer was constantly in a state of war, especially among Sumerian city-states. Even in 1991, the city-state of Ur was a key battle site for the US and Iraqi armies during the Persian Gulf War. Eventually, Sumer was weakened to the point that their Babylonian rivals were able to overthrow them in 1759 BC. To review, we discussed Sumerian scribes, Mesopotamia being the land between rivers, the Fertile Crescent, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, city-states, ziggurats, polytheism, and myths. See you next time.